Hello all, my name is Shivanshi Gupta and I'm an intern at the UB Advocate. Today I'll be discussing about to what extent right to private defense can be exercised. Self-help is the first rule of criminal law. The right of private defense is absolutely necessary for the protection of one's life, liberty and property. It is a right inherent in a man, but the kind and amount of force is minutely regulated by law. The use of force to protect one's property and person is called the right of private defense. It is the primary duty of the state to protect the life and property of the individual, but no state, no matter how large its resources, can afford to depute a policeman to watch the steps of every citizen in the country. There may be a situation in which the state cannot help a person immediately when life or property is in danger. In view of this, Indian Penal Code has given the right of private defense. In the words of Jeremy Bentham, the right of private defense is necessary for the protection of life, liberty and property. Section 96 to 106 of the Indian Penal Code states that the law relating to the right of private defense of a person and property. The provisions contained in these sections give authority to a man to use necessary force against an assailant or wrongdoer for the purpose of protecting one's own body and property and that of another's when immediate aid from the state machinery is not readily available. And in doing so, he is not answerable in the law for his deeds. Section 97 states that the right of private defense is of two types: right of private defense of body, right of private defense of property. Section 99 lays down the conditions and limits within which the right of private defense can be exercised. In other words, there is no right of private defense against the acts of a public servant and against the acts of those acting under the authority or direction when there is sufficient time for recourse to public authorities, and the quantum of harm that may be caused shall in no case be in excess of harm that may be necessary for the purpose of defense. There is no such hardcore formula to test that the act of the person falls within the ambit of private defense or not. It depends upon the set of circumstances in which the person has acted. Whether in a particular circumstance a person has legitimately acted to exercise his private right of private defense is a question of fact. In V. Subramanian and Another versus State of Tamil Nadu, court held that in determining the question of fact, it must consider the surrounding facts and circumstances. If the circumstances show that the right of private defense has been legitimately exercised, the court is open to consider the plea. In Puran Singh versus State of Punjab, it was held that certain factors need to be kept in mind in considering the act of private defense. If there was sufficient time for recourse to public authorities or not, if the harm caused was more than what was necessary to be caused or not, if there was a necessity to take such action or not, and if the accused person was the aggressor or not, and if there was a reasonable apprehension of death, grievous hurt, or hurt to the body or property. The reasonable apprehension can only be justified if the accused had an honest belief that there is danger and that such belief is reasonably warranted by the conduct of the aggressor and the surrounding circumstances. This brings in an iota of an objective criterion for establishing reasonableness. The imminence of danger is also an important prerequisite for the valid exercise of self-defense. Thus, there should be a reasonable belief that the exercise is imminent and that the force must be used to repel it. In the case of Darshan Singh versus State of Punjab, the Supreme Court gave the following principle to govern the right of private defense. All the civilized countries recognize the right of private defense, but of course with reasonable limits. The right of private defense is available only when the person is under the necessity to tackle the danger and not of self-creation. Only a reasonable apprehension is enough to exercise the right of self-defense. It is not necessary that there should be an actual commission of offense to give rise to the right of private defense. The right of private defense commences as soon as reasonable apprehension arises and continues till the time such apprehension exists. There is no need for the accused to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the right of private defense existed. The force used in the defense must not only be necessary for the purpose of avoiding the attack but also reasonable, that is, proportionate to the harm threatened. The rule is best stated in the negative form that the force must not be such that a reasonable man would have regarded it as being out of all proportion to the danger. Thus, we can see that the right of private defense is very helpful in giving citizens a weapon which, in a case that it's not misused, is subject to certain restrictions, helps them protect their and others' lives and property. Thank you.